everybody, my name is Sherry. Welcome to my stamp studio. It is almost time for our new annual catalog that starts May 2nd. So you want to make sure that you are on my email list. Sometime over this next weekend, Monday at the latest, I will send you, every month I do thank you gifts. So if you are on my email list, you know that every month, if you use my host code or if your order's over 150, I do thank you gifts. And there's always different levels. Often in a month, I do something extra special if you order the first couple of days of the month, but always when there is a new catalog, I do catalog kickoff specials for the first couple of days. And usually I do that because when there's a new catalog, there's a slew of orders right at the beginning, and so shipping can be a little bit slower. So I just give you a little something extra if you order at the start. I will be doing that with this catalog. So it's not going to be in the email that goes with this particular card, but the next email that comes after. And I have one more sneak peek. It's a real simple little sneak peek card for you, and that will come, like I said, towards the end of this weekend or Monday at the latest. That way on Tuesday, you'll know, you can kind of decide what level. There'll be different levels, and there'll be a couple of ones that you can pick and choose what you want. And then those thank you gifts, we're going to go back to how I do my normal thank you gifts. All the thank you gifts will ship in early June. And part of the reason I do that is because I let my orders accumulate. So if you want to place order at the start of May, and then you want to place one later in the month, I add all of that up so you can get a higher level gift, and they add up. So if you hit the $100 gift, you can get that, and then if it gets higher and you also hit the $200, I don't even know what they're going to be yet, but you can get both. So that's part of the reason I do it. Also, if you don't have a catalog yet, let me know. You should have it unless you have I had a couple that went out in the last couple of days. So if you've recently requested it, you might not have it, but otherwise you should have it. So if you didn't get it and you were expecting to get one from me, let me know and I can get it in the mail to you this weekend. So before that happens, we have our last chance list, and we have 2 catalogs ending. So we have the annual catalog that is 2022 to 2023. That will end on Monday. And then we also have the January to April catalog that will end, even though it ends on May 1st, catalog. And so I'm going to do one last card from the last chance list, and I'm going to use a stamp set and a suite of products from this. And if you want to know the honest truth, why I am using it, because I'm going to use the Desert Details. I love it. I bought it. Demonstrators can pre-order. I got this back in November, and I put ink on it for the very first time today. So since I had not used it, I had used the dies when I did the Try It class. And that's another thing, my email that goes out with this video will have, I have, I think, 4 Try It packets left now for that class. And then when they're gone, they're gone. I won't be cutting any more. I think we did 2 in case there's any postage issues. And then I did, I think, 3 in case anybody joins my team. So there's those. So come June, I may offer those. But this was the first time that I used the stamps. I did use the dies for my Try It class back in January. And I love it. It just got, celebration always gets in the way of these catalogs for me. And so I'm going to use Desert Details. So we're going to take a real quick look at the catalog, because I can open this one. I can't open the other one yet. I did mark down because some of it's even a really good deal. And I'm going to point out in my email that goes with this a few of the things that are still left that are on clearance that are a really good deal, because this time around, and that's part of the reason there's some shipping issues, is because the sale was tremendous this time. And one of the things that's tremendously on sale for this suite of products, and make sure you check out the samples, because it does show you some really fun ways to use the dies. And this is one of those sets where you can get the dies. They're over here. You can see them a tad bit better over here. See, there's more samples on this page that use it. And all of this stuff is still in stock. Some of the stuff's run out. I have adhesive on my nails. But they have these fun little things here. They have a couple of frames. I'm using this one. Here's this frame. I'm not using that. But really fun. I'm not using these stamps, so they will have never seen ink. I'm not going to use that. I just hate that a whole catalog went by and I bought them and never used them. But the dies are normally, well, they're over here. Sometimes it's on 2 pages. It makes it a bit difficult for filming when the catalog opens this direction. The dies are normally $34 and you can get them for $13.60. So even if it has the 2 flowers cut out, but all of the rest of them are just shapes. So you can get them and not even have to have the stamps. The stamps are cute. The stamps are not on sale. The sequins are on sale. The ribbon is on sale. The designer series paper is on sale. And then this really fun dry brushed metallic is carrying over into our online exclusives. So you'll be able to pick that up for a little bit longer. And it is stunningly beautiful. I've moved almost all of my retired stuff over. And for whatever I used with that must be retired because the sample wasn't here for me to show you. But I love this paper so much that I'm just going to cover the whole back of this card in it. So let's get started on it. And a reminder that if you're interested in my online card club, normally it is the 10th of the month. This month you have to have subscribed or made any changes by the 1st. Because I'm going to be, my cats and the house sitter will be taking over my office for most of the month. So I won't be here, but my cats will be, but they don't like to post videos. They're kind of lazy. So here is that beautiful dry brushed paper, and it comes in this shades of blue and then one that's kind of shades of coral. So I'm going to use the blue one, and then I'm going to do a bunch of dies. The card goes together super fast because we're going to let the beautiful dies do the work for us. Although I'm going to stamp because I bought those stamps, so I'm going to use them. So this paper is the rose gold. It is carrying over, and I'm going to use the long kind of Aztec-y border. And then this is the frame, and I'm going to run it through, and I'm going to put this fun like little aloe thing in the middle. And then this piece here, you can run it through a bunch of different times, and then you can piece them back together. I just need one for this card. And then I'm going to take Pretty Peacock, which is a returning color. So some of you may already have it because you might not have gotten rid of it. You could use any of the colors. This is, and I didn't use Succulent or Evergreen because I've moved out all of my retiring colors. You could use, I think this is maybe Bermuda Bay. I should have looked when I had the catalog open. But any of the greens or dark blues would work with it. I thought Peacock was pretty. And it just shows you that this is Succulent, which is gone. And I'm using Peacock, which is coming. So those 2 colors aren't going to overlap, at least currently, in the Stampin' Up! Line of colors. But it doesn't matter because they will look fabulous on this. So I'm going to stamp the flower, and it's kind of a distinctive style of stamp. So we're going to see how pretty that is. See, Peacock and Succulent, even though they're not going to ever match up, like I said, in the catalog world, you can still use them together. It looks really pretty. You could also use 2 colors that aren't going to match up in the catalog world is Lost Lagoon and Succulent. And we did that in Card Club this past month in April. I have that. And then this is going to cut that out. I'm going to run this through without you guys having to watch just to save a little bit of time. And then I'm going to take this saying, hopefully I cut this long enough. I did. I'm going to use the Versamark. And this says, sending warm rays your way, which I could use that. You know, April, May in the Midwest is always just a little bit iffy. We can get some really beautiful teases of summer, and then we get days like today. It's those April showers that are going to bring the May flowers, right? Because it's showery out there. It is showery and gray, which isn't doing my metallic card any huge favors as far as natural light goes. So I'm stamping this with the Versamark. I just hand trimmed that little piece out, and then all of my little trays are someplace else. So I'm just going to go old-fashioned, even though I have 3 of the Embossing Editions toolkits. I'm just going to pull a little piece of scrap paper. And I debated whether or not to use gold or copper, because this kind of is coppery on this, and this is the rose gold, which which tends to the copper, and then we have straight up gold. So you want to know how I made my decision, which color to go with? The copper was laying on my table, the copper embossing powder. So copper it was. If the gold had been laying here, then I might have used the gold. It's driving me crazy that I have adhesive on my nails because now the embossing powder is sticking to it. If I'd had to get up and walk over to where I keep my embossing powders, I don't know which one I would have chosen, but the copper looks really pretty. So if you don't have copper and you have gold, try that. You could also do it in black. You could just stamp that in the peacock if you wanted. That would be pretty as well. And this is just one of the designer series pieces of paper. So you can do this whole thing in the peachy coral coppery look as well. Let's see, heat this up. So that looks really pretty. It would be prettier if there was some June sunshine out there. Now I'm gonna cut all of these out with my cut and emboss machine. Okay, so here's all of our pieces cut out. And then I have cut this piece, and you can cut it a little bit smaller if you wanna get more pieces out of your, cause it's 12 by 12, out of a 12 by 12 piece, because 4 1/4, obviously you get fewer pieces. The 5 1/2 is fine, but you would get more pieces out of a 4-inch piece because you would get 3 across. This way you're only going to get 2. And then I went with soft seafoam for this one. The other one I have early evening evergreen as the back. And again, these were just because that's what was sitting on my desk and they matched. So one of the things that will be, I can tell you, I don't know the levels, and it's one of the reasons I'm doing choices next week for my catalog kickoff. Is one of the options just for if you order during next week will be you can get a bone folder with the hole drilled in it, and you'll be able to get charms that you can either attach to a bone folder or to your scissors. That way, if I just think they make me happy, but also if you're stamping with friends, then it helps you know that they're yours and not get them mixed up with somebody else's. Of course, if once your things get all messy like this, then you know they're yours irregardless. But that will be one of the options. And then I know a lot of you, because it's often something I do for annual catalog kickoffs, if you already have them and you don't want another one. I know some of you are like me and you like to get new ones all the time too. But I'll have another option if you don't want that. That is one of your choices, because I've had several of you ask already how you'll get that. So I'm just attaching that, and so you can see it's the whole thing. And I went with coordinating colors. That way, if you're a little bit crooked and it's kind of under there, you won't notice it. So we're going to start first then with this rose gold piece, and see how nicely it matches kind of this coppery piece. And I'm just going to add adhesive, and it's longer than it needs to be for the full 5 1/2, so it must be like a 6-inch little strip here, which is great if you do 6-inch scrapbooking or you want to make like a picture frame. I'm just going to add it across here. I'm not going to worry about laying it all out because it's kind of just a however it comes together kind of look. So have that here. Then let's do our frame. With this, you do want to kind of make sure that these holes here popped out. You see, because one of them fell out. If they all stayed in, I might leave them. But that happened on my other one too, that one fell out. And so I didn't want one out and 3 to stay in. You could do this with glue. But I just made my swaps for the Norway cruise, the Norway Stampin' Up! Cruise, and I've used up all of the glue, and so now I need to go get some new. Glue is not usually my adhesive of choice, but I needed it for the swap that I made, and you will want to see that when it's about time for us, which is much later in May, but when it's about that time, I have filmed it so you can see what my swaps are. It's very cool, and it did require glue. So I'm just gonna add this little piece here. And again, I'm not gonna lay it out, just kind of making a little desert kind of bouquet. And see how pretty that is? Stamped on that green. It just gives it an extra little layer of dimension. Put this here. And by using the Stampin' Seal and not Plus, if I don't like where something is, I'm not pressing super hard with it yet, then I'd be able to adjust it. And this, I don't have to put a ton of adhesive because I'm going to put this saying across it, and I'll put more there and I can put it over the top. Add that there. And to be honest, I would have used a different color for this. Like, I think it would be pretty in the rose gold and maybe put the gold behind that. But let me show you how these cut out. So you take the frame, and then this has, when you cut the frame out, you have the frame, and then if you don't want the middle to fall out, you don't add this little insert. But if you want the middle to fall out, you add the insert here. And because this middle was going to fall out, I was going to waste all that gold. That's why I chose to put the aloe vera thing there in the middle. So it's gold. It looks fine. But it would also be pretty, like this paper, I don't know if it's out of stock because I didn't check. It would be pretty, any of our other gold kind of metallic-y papers would make a really pretty choice. There's also 3 colors in the rose gold packet of paper. Any of those would also be good. You could run this through and just save it for another project and pick another gold to go there, or a copper. I don't know if our copper paper has sold out. I just checked to make sure the stuff that I was using on this card was still available. And you know, by the time I post it, or by the time the email goes out, there's always, unless you're doing a live, and even then, by the time people get around and watch the live on replay a little bit later, it's never guaranteed that anything you've shown. And I am just hand trimming this. I want it to take up as little of blocking any of this as possible. Plus, when you do it this way, and because it's on the modeled paper, it's really hard for it to look any kind of crooked, so don't worry about it looking crooked. But see, now if I put adhesive here and put it over the top of that, that's going to help keep that down. And this is also why I opted not to stamp it in the peacock, because it's going to, but then it would be peacock over peacock. So put that there. And remember the embellishments. I really wanted to put the ribbon on this card because that papaya velvet ribbon is beautiful. But I started the whole card and I thought I could pull it in because of the copper. It was just too much green, and the papaya didn't look good on this card. But get it, because it still matches the rest of the stuff that's in the suite. So if you pick up all of the stuff that's on sale, and these are the fabulous embellishments. I was really sorry that they didn't carry over. I love the little moons, and I love the big ones because those are 2 shapes that we don't have often. So let's start. I'm going to do it a little bit different this time. It may end up being the same, but I'm going to put these little circles here. Because, you know, I like to use lots of embellishments. So I'm going to put the circles on the little tip things. But last time I couldn't. This is kind of covering them up again. Just put it here in the center. So I have 4 of those. Last time I couldn't because of the way I started with them. So now let's do a couple of the little moons. I started with the big ones last time because you really should start with big ones. Let's get 2 of the moons. And these, you know, I like to do odd numbers. But because we've started with 4 around, it might not end up being odd. I love the big ones. They're just really pretty. And then we'll put 1 of the big circles. I have no idea how many I've done right here in the middle of this one. I'm not going to even count them because it's however many it is. Isn't that fun? And so easy to do. And so sparkly. I wish it was sunny outside. But But when you've waited to the very last day, because it's Friday, and this weekend we have to get our garden planted, it doesn't matter what the weather's going to do, because this is the last weekend that we have, and then we'll be home in June. Actually, we have next weekend, but next weekend it is cutting up all of my May club and all of the final things for my Try It class. So that's all we're doing next weekend. So this weekend we're doing the garden and Mother's Day. So it is that. My life has been scheduled. I am having somebody come in to clean my house. It's a little bit of a splurge, but I have run out of time to clean. And when we get back from our trip at the end of May, then immediately right after that, we have friends coming from Australia to stay with us. So my house must be clean. We have people coming to watch the house and stay here while we're gone, and then people coming to visit us when we get back. So, you know, the time I've run out of days, and I still have to get the Try It class has 12 projects. I have to film 12 projects. I have designed 4 of them because we have 4 on pre-order that I could design. The other 8, I haven't even seen this stuff because we can't order it until May 2nd. So yeah, to say that I'm stressed on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm probably 7-ish. I don't get highly stressed. But I'm inching towards the stress level. So go check out the last chance list and then be watching your email. And the reason I can't tell you is because it's not done yet. I do have the card ready to film, of my quick and easy card for the last sneak peek. But make sure that you check out the last chance list. And that anything that you order on that, you're still getting the April thank you gifts for that, and those are going out as you order, because my daughter's been fabulous about getting those out to you pretty much straight away this April. So even if you've already gotten stuff, you get different stuff, because she has a whole spreadsheet to make sure that you get different things and different videos and different different PDFs and different projects to go in those PDFs, because I think there were about 16 projects in the PDFs between the two. So if you've ordered twice, then you've got both the PDFs, and every time you get different projects. So everybody have a great day and get ready for next week for new catalog week. I hope to cross my fingers that I will have a opening the box video. I actually get my box the day that the cleaning people are here to clean my house. So I don't know if I'll have a catalog unboxing video or not. We'll see how long they take to dust all of the dust that's accumulated over my house for about the last 6 weeks since I dusted when I put up my Easter decorations. I did take them down today. So everybody have a great one. Bye.